Shadow Home Secretary Diane Abbot has accused the current Home Secretary's department, which would include leader Priti Patel, of resorting to crude stereotypes as they unveiled a campaign to tackle a spike in knife-related offences with a new nationwide ad campaign. What is this ad campaign, you might ask? Well, I'm really glad you did, because this is a very unusual story and I didn't expect it to crop up. The ad campaign concerns sticking a bunch of anti-knife related commentary, which includes trying to uplift those within certain communities in certain areas where fried chicken is popular, by showing them how good their life could be without a crime. Hashtag knife free, everyone. Over 321,000 chicken boxes in more than 210 stores across England and Wales will be branded with the hashtag knife free. The aim being to tell real-life stories of young people who have chosen to pursue positive activities such as boxing, music, or education instead of deciding to carry a sharp blade. Policing Minister Kit Malthouse said that these chicken boxes bring home to thousands of young people the tragic consequences of carrying a knife and challenge the idea that it makes you safer. But, as many would think it to be somewhat good that Morleys, the chicken shop chain that is overseeing 20,000 of the anti-knife boxes being handed out, or has been so far anyway, Diane Abbot says that instead of investing in a public health approach to violent crime, the Home Office has opted for yet another crude, offensive and probably expensive campaign. They would do better to invest in our communities, not demonise them. The problem here is, yes, all communities have suffered because of austerity, except for the rich. However, your solution is just to throw money at it, or to get more police as a deterrent. But after a recent incident with a man and a machete and a police officer, I don't think they're afraid of police officers in this country. Many believe it's because a man attacking a police officer is one thing, but the police officer has to fill in paperwork before he's even allowed to do a takedown. Our police are not intimidating. Interesting point, I want to raise it now, and that is that Diane Abbot cannot accuse the Home Office of racism because of Priti Patel. They can accuse them of having rather backward-thinking policies, but she can't accuse her of racism. Unfortunately, that can't be done. Now, we should of course talk about what the Office of National Statistics says about all of this. 10.6% of London's population are black. It is known that black populations in London boroughs increases with the level of deprivation, and that the level of crime also increases with deprivation. Back in 2010, the Sunday Telegraph managed to get hold of the statistics on accusations of crime broken down by race from the Metropolitan Police, which showed that the majority of violent crimes were black, a statistic that still holds true to this day. 54% of those accused of street crimes are black, for robbery 58%, for gun crimes 67%. You make up such a small percentage of the entire London population, yet you make up the majority of the crimes. This also translates to other places as well around England. I had never heard of Morleys up until this point, and I'm actually somewhat interested to see if it could have a positive impact. This move that the government is doing with these campaigns to crack down on knife crime comes as part of a wider crackdown, including moves to loosen restrictions on stop and search, which Labour believe would exacerbate community tensions. I disagree with this. I think that the government should reintroduce it because it actually yielded positive results. And if people were so tense to begin with, why don't they just not carry a bloody knife? It's not rocket science. Government figures do show that black people are 9.5 times more likely to be the subject of stop and search than their white counterparts. This, though, only really accounts for London. Understandably so, because London is going through a bit of a knife crime epidemic, and the majority are black. It's when you see one white guy do it, and it's like all white people are a problem. Yeah, you need to stop doing that now. Understandably, Number 10 is not impressed with Labour's response, with a senior Number 10 source saying that on Stop and Search, the Labour Party with Diane Abbot as Shadow Home Secretary is ideologically opposed to giving the police more powers and a clear roadblock to getting knives off the street as Stop and Search does. Which is really interesting because While Diane Abbot can't math, she does want more police on the street, I would surmise as target practice. Now, with all the outrage from the likes of Diane Abbot and David Lammy, who have immediately pounced on this as if it is a race issue, I would point out a lot of people like fried chicken. There is a stereotype, yes, because it's true. And I'll be honest, if you want to stick knife free on the side of watermelons, you should. It'd be very funny to watch people bash their watermelon against a sharp curb just to get inside all that deliciously goodness. That sounded wrong. Never mind. Point stands. I stand by what I said in yesterday's video on the main channel, where I indicated it isn't the knife that's the problem, it's the people who hold the knife. They are the ones that want to incite violence, they are the ones that want to use violence. Therefore, it is not the knife that should be banned, it should be the people who want to use the knife for wrongdoings. Those people we need to address, and if at all possible, help. We don't do that by having more police on the street to scare them. It just means they get more clever. I'm partially surprised more aren't using the assassin's version of a hidden blade at this point. I recently discovered I could 3D print one. I'm not giving people suggestions. They're fantastic cosplays. Anyway, as a little thing, because I should point this out now, there is no political recap stream tonight on this channel. That is because Trupp's LP is off playing with his fiddle in the woods, drinking mead and making love to a burly lumberjack. So thank you all for joining. There'll be videos anyway. I really do need to cover the remainder of that Epstein stuff. Perhaps I'll save that for Monday.